Hey, welcome back. Got a good one for you tonight. I'm going to revisit my claim that as a vehicle for delivering messages to a target audience, fiction stands head and shoulders above nonfiction. I'm about to take you in the Wayback Machine to March 4th, 2001. This date was exactly 6 months and 7 days before America's second day that will live in infamy. This is the date that the premiere episode of a TV series called The Lone Gunmen aired. The Lone Gunmen was a short-lived spin-off of the incredibly popular series called The X-Files. The X-Files was another A-plus fictional series that made government conspiracy a weekly diet for millions of viewers. We've never seen another series quite like The X-Files again. It is rumored that after its run, the Clinton administration told Hollywood, no more series like The X-Files. I guess Jesse Ventura didn't get that memo. So let's take a look at this. I've edited together key moments from that pilot episode, and it's going to blow your mind. Scene 1. Alright, a little piece of Sergeant Montgomery trivia for you. We just saw the opening shot of the Lone Gunmen episode. Note that the scene opens in front of the corporate headquarters of a fictional company called E-ComCon. Now, in 1998, when I wrote my first Mac Bolan adventure, the villains of the story were called ComCon, an acronym which stood for the Committee to Suspend the U.S. Constitution. They were the secret faction inside the government working behind the scenes to stage events, which led to further erosion of the Bill of Rights. In the books I'm writing now, ComCon has been scrapped. They're majestic now. I share this just because I found it interesting that Chris Carter and company opened this episode with a company called E-ComCon. Is there any connection? Beats me. Now let's rejoin the episode. The Lone Gunmen are at E-ComCon to steal a new computer CPU called the Octium 4.
Developing.
Well, the Octium 4 is our latest high-speed processor. It's capable of 6.8 gigaflops. That's nearly 7 billion calculations per second.
I mean, tell us the truth. How the Octium is secretly designed to keep tabs on the users. It's got a tiny little modem embedded in each processor, see? So that it can upload your files onto the internet. And your credit history, and your tax bracket, and your social security number. All neatly packaged for these robber barons.
Sir, I don't know if this is the proper form.
And another thing.
Patriot 2. We're in position. Shut up already.
Is there peanuts in this?
Hey, that kind of sounds like everything Bill Gates is up to and then some, doesn't it? While our intrepid seekers of the truth have been skunked, a rival hacker has sabotaged their op and steals the chip instead, leaving them to be caught. Now this is a great sequence.
Make a big mistake. That was a hearing aid. Huh? What'd you say?
Where's the chip? Full body cavity search.
Honest to God, we don't have it.
Wow, now that's a hacker I'd like to spank.
The readership doesn't matter, man. It's the impact on the black ops that counts. They read it too. The guys at the NSA and the CIA, they tremble every time we put out one of these babies.
Did you see that headline? Teletubbies equals mind control. I think they're onto something here. Have you ever watched the Teletubbies? I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Now there's a thought. Let's disappear Rumsfeld, strap him in a chair, and subject him to round-the-clock episodes of the Teletubbies until he sings like a canary. That would break anyone.
Hey, buddy. Nice service. Looks like your old man had a lot of friends in high places.
Yeah, maybe we could plant bugs on a couple of them. Or maybe now's not the time.
I'm about ready to get out of here.
John, we met once years ago. I'm Ray Helm. I worked with your father.
Oh, Mr. Helm, your eulogy was very nice. Thank you.
I meant every word of it. I was hoping you and I could talk about him. I realize you hadn't seen each other in some time.
I'm just not sure what there is to talk about.
We could talk about how he died.
According to the police, his car ran off the road.
Like I said, we could talk about that. Their explanation was your father fell asleep at the wheel and ran off the road.
But you don't believe that.
You're not saying my father killed himself?
I'm saying he was murdered.
Hold up. Something's funky here. You're telling us the government is behind this?
You're the government.
If you're anything like your father, I knew you'd want to know.
I want to see what's on his PC.
Whoa! Son of a... This carpet's wet. Like it's been cleaned.
Check it out.
There's no nothing else either, only an operating system. Someone cleaned house. Erased everything and defragged this puppy.
Try a sector editor. See if you can find any recently deleted files.
EINGO. Delete commands up the wazoo.
Hey, wait, what about this one?
Looks like a DoD file. Scenario 12D. Text file.
Alright, the plot thickens. The character John Byers' father has been killed. A friend of the father is insinuating it was murder and not an accident, and the lone gunmen have found reference to a DoD file known as Scenario 12D. Now they recover the father's car from the junkyard and began going through the wreckage looking for evidence of foul play. And they find it.
If there is any evidence in this hunk of junk, we're going to be hard-pressed to find
We'll find it.
it. And then what? Then you be happy?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
What's the best thing that could come out of this investigation as far as you're concerned? You find out that your father was going to blow the whistle on the government. You find out they killed him for it.
What's your point?
Oh, come on, Byers. We both know that you and your father didn't see eye to eye. You're hoping you'll find out he was someone you could respect. But what if he wasn't?
My father used to talk about JFK when I was a kid. Camelot, a government as good as its people, an American dream. I don't know when or why he stopped believing in it, but those stories made me who I am. They made me believe in the promise of our country.
Truth, justice, the American way.
Someone has to expose those that would destroy that dream. Someone has to write the stories they don't want you to read. That's why I teamed up with you guys. You're true believers.
And I thought it was for the chick throw-off. Look, all I'm saying is I don't want you setting yourself up for disappointment. I'm saying make peace with your father in another way.
What is it?
Needle in a haystack.
Okay, where to next?
Okay, products and logistics. No, wait. Program analysis and evaluation. We're looking for any reference to something called Scenario 12D. Oh, man and all.
So what do you got?
We found this in the engine compartment of my father's car. You'll notice that none of the circuits have factory identifier numbers.
And this copper zigzag looks like an integrated antenna.
Etched into the breadboard like a cell phone. We're thinking...
If this received radio signals and was clipped to the car engine's control module,
the speed of the car could be remotely controlled.
all you need is a handheld radio controller to operate the car.
And make it look like a dead man was driving.
Now isn't that intriguing? The car was remote controlled.
These look like counterterrorism scenarios, war games developed for the Defense Department.
What's Scenario 12D?
Airline terrorism? That doesn't make sense. Your father was murdered over a war game?
Download it.
Okay, now we have a remote-controlled car to fake an accident and a DoD counter-terrorism scenario revolving around airline terrorism. Further investigation reveals that dear old dad isn't dead after all. The body in the car was a would-be assassin's. Now watch as the plot is really unveiled. Try and keep your jaw from hitting the floor with these revelations.
John.
Dad.
What the hell are you doing? Why can't you stay out of this? Leave me buried.
What is Scenario 12D? We know it's a war game scenario, that it has to do with airline counterterrorism. Why is that important enough to kill for?
Because it's no longer a game.
If some terrorist group wants to act out this scenario, why target you for assassination?
Depends on who your terrorists are.
The men who conceived of it in the first place. You're saying our government plans to commit a terrorist act against a domestic airline?
There you go. Indicting the entire government as usual. It's a faction. A small faction.
For what possible gain?
The Cold War's over, John. But with no clear enemy to stockpile against, the arms market's flat. But bring down a fully loaded 727 into the middle of New York City, and you'll find a dozen tin-pot dictators all over the world just clamoring to take responsibility and begging to be smart-bombed.
I can't believe it. This is about increasing arms sales.
Mm-hmm.
When?
Tonight?
How are you going to stop them? Why didn't you tell the world this? Go to the press.
You think I'd still be drawing breath 30 minutes after I made that call? The press? Who's going to run this story?
We would.
This? This is birdcage liner. Wild-eyed crap right up there with Elvis as an alien and two-headed babies.
You obviously read it.
Don't be so damn naive. You think this is going to save the world? I'm doing what I can, John. I don't have all the specifics on Scenario 12D, but I think I know the flight they've chosen. You stay out of it. I don't want Overlord gunning for you, too.
Alright, let's summarize that again because it is so important. A faction inside the government is going to stage an act of airline terrorism because the Cold War is over, arms sales are flat, and America needs a new enemy to start a whole new cycle of needless, insane wars. Does that sound familiar? Now look at this.
We got a plane to catch.
Holy Toledo. Now in this story, the plane didn't originate in Boston, it is flying to Boston.
See anyone you recognize?
No, but that doesn't mean they're not around.
Okay. Let's board, check the cabin for free hydrocarbons. Try and pinpoint that bomb.
This is your plan? I still think we should call in a bomb threat. Let the FBI deal with this.
Said yourself, we don't know the full extent of this conspiracy. We can't trust any government official. Our only hope is to get on that plane. Find anything?
The luggage hole's clear if this thing can be trusted. What'd you do, make it with your erector set?
You're absolutely sure that this is the targeted flight?
This flight was chosen primarily for its visibility. It's scheduled to pass over Manhattan on its way to Boston.
You said they intend to bring this down in the middle of New York City? What if there is no bomb?
Well, how are they going to bring it down?
The same way a dead man can drive a car.
What do you mean, no bomb? Langley, hacked into the flight control system output.
With a little bit of help.
It's what the brains of the plane is telling the little black box.
Course, heading, attitude, hold, yaw, axis, stabilization. What the heck's that?
Is that what it looks like?
I think it is what it looks like.
What does what look like?
Modem protocols. Remote access. Somebody on the ground's flying your plane.
Bogey, sir.
Keep your course. We need to know our flight plan.
I'm mapping the data now.
Byers, your flight's gonna make an unscheduled stop in exactly 22 minutes.
Corner of Liberty and Washington. Lower Manhattan.
A remote-controlled airliner commandeered from the ground and flown to its target. Gosh darn, art imitating reality! And it's headed to New York City. And what's the target? Any guesses at this point? Now wait for it. Wait for it.
World Trade Center. I'm going to crash the plane into the World Trade Center.
Holy Jesus, it's the World Trade Center! The secret faction is going to fly a ground-controlled airliner into the World Trade Center in order to blame it on imaginary terrorists and start another war for profit and conquest.
I'll tell the flight crew.
Langley, can you override the flight control system?
I'm working on it.
What is this? My name is Bert Byers. I work for the government. I believe this plane has been commandeered.
Sir, passengers are not allowed in the cockpit. I need you to return to your seat now.
You don't have control of this plane, and I don't know if we can get it back. Turn off your autopilot. There may be a chance that we can override it.
Sir, I'll be happy to contact your superiors in the government to confirm. Sir, damn it!
He's right. Langley, we're getting close.
I know.
Damn it! New York Center, this is Atlantic National Flight 265 Heavy. We are declaring an emergency. We have 110 souls on board, 16,000 pounds of fuel, and no dangerous goods or cargo to report.
Come on, Hickey. Fronts have failed, haven't they?
There's still hope.
Hope my next turnout's as nice as my last one.
We've got manual override.
You know, if only the real story ended like this, with the good guys foiling the plot. Here, in a 45-minute piece of entertainment, We've just been handed on a silver platter the entire package, the very real reasons and motives for 9/11. You know, it's no wonder The Lone Gunmen only lasted 13 episodes, and then these characters were killed off in a follow-on X-Files episode.
What is it?
God, I see myself in you. The same youthful enthusiasm, idealism. I was so angry at you for so long because I didn't want you to waste your life tilting at windmills. But I see now that you've got something I never had. You're a brave man, John.
You're not going to testify. You're going to let them cover this up.
They almost killed me twice. They won't fail a third time. My silence will keep me alive. And you. I know you and your friends are fighting for the American dream. Just don't expect to win.
Don't expect to win? Well, I got news for you, Pops. We are winning. And the rat bastards are on the run. Their plots are unraveling as fast as they can cook them up. The whole planet is waking up. And all this is converging together in the year 2012. Isn't that amazing? Rest assured, people, we are going to be living through the final conflict between the Sons and Daughters of Liberty and the crazy control freaks. Liberty is going to win. Liberty already has won. These lunatics just haven't seen the writing on the walls yet. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little demonstration. If you've never seen this episode of The Lone Gunmen, search for it on YouTube. It's there. That's where I got the clips from. Then visit my website, bluefalconpress.com, and give the first chapter of Pretty Hate Machine a spin. That, too, in its Mac Bolan incarnation, eerily foretold the Columbine Massacre. And I connected the dots on that scenario with no coaching from the CIA. Alright, that's all I've got for now. Out here.